The descent wasn't planned. Commander Jace Korr gritted his teeth as his shuttle spiraled through the dusty atmosphere of Sah'Ra. Alarms howled. Red warning lights flashed across the cockpit. Navigation was fried. The AI voice repeated, "Impact in 12 seconds." He braced. The shuttle crashed nose-first into the dunes. Metal screamed. Sparks flew. The hull split open with a final groan, coughing steam into the alien wind. Then silence. Jace staggered out, blood trickling from his temple, heat baking his armor. Behind him, the once sleek craft now resembled a burnt offering to some forgotten god. His comms were dead. No signal. No backup. No Federation fleet. Just miles of copper-red sand, and a towering structure rising in the distance, golden, jagged, and impossibly ancient. He muttered under his breath, "Looks like I found you." Or it found him. 2 days earlier, the Human Federation lost contact with a diplomatic envoy on Sah'Ra. The last message was static and a whisper, "She's not what we thought." The mission was simple: reckon, rescue, report. But nothing here felt simple anymore. Jace approached the temple by dusk, where the heat simmered into a thick, electric tension in the air. The architecture defied gravity, colossal stone obelisks leaned inward like a mouth frozen mid-bite. Symbols moved faintly across the walls, as if alive. A gust of hot wind carried a scent, spiced flowers and ozone. His instincts prickled. He reached for his sidearm. Then it flickered and died. He tried rebooting the plasma cell. No response. The air around the temple shimmered, distorting tech like a heat mirage. He was walking into something that didn't obey rules of physics or reason. Still, he went in. Inside, shadows stretched far beyond their sources. The walls pulsed with faint light, amber veins glowing like a heartbeat. The air tasted thick, charged. Then he saw them. 4 helmets. Federation issue. Arranged in a perfect semicircle on the temple floor. No blood. No bodies. Just, abandoned. He crouched, picking one up. The inside was dry. Recently worn. "Commander Korr," a voice whispered. Jace froze. He turned slowly. At the far end of the chamber, sitting atop a throne carved from a single slab of obsidian and gold, was a woman. Or something like one. She was radiant. Skin a bronze sheen, almost metallic. Her posture regal, yet effortless. A headdress framed her face in gold and sapphire, and her eyes, glowing, azure, ancient, pierced straight through him. She said nothing. Just watched. He lifted his weapon again out of reflex. It sparked. Died. She smiled. "That little sword of yours is quite useless here," she said, voice low, melodic. Jace steadied himself. "Who are you?" "I am Xelya. Flame of Sah'Ra. Keeper of the Orifice of Stars." He blinked. "Excuse me." She rose. The motion was fluid, gravity-defying. As she descended the steps, the air around her crackled with static. Her presence wasn't just visual, it was physical. He felt her energy press against his chest, crawl under his skin. "You came here to rescue your people," she said, circling him. "But they were never lost. They simply surrendered." "To what?" "To me." A pulse of blue light flickered across the floor, and Jace staggered back. He hit an invisible wall, a barrier of energy. It hummed against his spine. She moved closer. "Your Federation fears what it cannot conquer. But what if the true strength of a species lies not in dominance, but surrender?" "I didn't come here for philosophy," he growled. "Where are the others?" Her eyes softened. "They are with me. Merged. Safe. Whole. You absorbed them. I completed them." Jace lunged. Fist raised. But the moment his hand touched her shoulder, a surge of electricity burst through his arm. His knees buckled. He dropped. On the ground, gasping, he looked up. She stood over him. Not triumphant, calm. Almost sympathetic. "Emotion is your power, human. But it also makes you fragile. You bury your pain beneath armor, hoping no one sees it. But I do. I feel it." He gritted his teeth. "You don't know anything about me. I know you lost someone. A lover. She died because you hesitated. You've punished yourself for years. He froze. How do you know that? I tasted it the moment you entered. The orifice responds to emotion. It magnifies truth. The what? She offered her hand, helping him stand. The orifice is not just a place. It is connection. Flesh and memory. Pleasure and pain. A link between all living minds. It can only be opened through vulnerability. Jace yanked his hand away. This is insane. No. This is evolution. Her hand brushed his chest plate. Where her fingers touched, the armor receded like melting metal, exposing skin. He stumbled back. Don't. I haven't touched you, she said gently. Your body wants to feel. Even now, when your mind resists. Why me? She tilted her head. Because you still fight it. And only those who fight hardest, taste surrender the deepest. Jace backed toward the throne. Behind it, a large stone portal pulsed with blue energy. Whispers curled around the air like smoke. You said the others surrendered, he said slowly. Did they choose to? They did. And they smiled. A pause. Jace whispered, and if I don't? She stepped close. Inches from him now. Then you will be the first to ever leave this temple untouched. But you will never stop wondering what you could have become. The portal behind her flared. And in that moment, he wasn't sure if he was standing on a desert planet. Or the edge of something divine. Jace couldn't remember falling asleep. One breath he stood near the portal, heart racing, spine tight with adrenaline. The next, he awoke inside a circular chamber bathed in dim amber light. The floor wasn't stone but a smooth, pulsing membrane beneath his boots. It responded to his weight like skin, slightly pliant. He touched his head. No wound. No helmet. No weapon. The walls curved in an organic way, like the inside of something once alive. Strange symbols shimmered across the surface, unreadable but rhythmic. The entire space breathed, a quiet inhale-exhale that matched his own heartbeat. A voice spoke. Not aloud. Inside him. You are safe, Jace Korr. He jerked, spinning toward the center of the chamber. Xelya stood there, cloaked in thin strands of blue silk that clung to her curves like smoke. She looked different now. Less divine, more human. But no less otherworldly. This isn't a prison, she said, stepping toward him. It sure feels like one. She stopped a few feet away. It's a transition space. Between what you were, and what you could become. I didn't agree to anything. You didn't resist either. I was shocked unconscious. No, she said softly. You were overwhelmed by what you couldn't understand. He folded his arms. Try me. She smiled, faint and knowing. Then, she gestured toward the far wall. It dissolved like mist, revealing a massive atrium filled with floating shapes, humanoid figures suspended in light. They pulsed faintly, like sleeping minds. His breath caught. The missing delegation, he asked. Yes. Their physical forms rest. But their minds are elsewhere, merged into the stream. You mean they're dead? No. Just, released. His fists clenched. Why would they give up their minds? She turned to face the view. Because they were tired. Tired of walls, of lies, of pretending not to feel. You humans carry your scars in silence. But silence is not strength, Jace. He stared at her, jaw tight. You keep talking about surrender like it's some kind of salvation. But it sounds like control. She faced him again. I don't take anything. I offer. Connection. Wholeness. My power responds to vulnerability. You saw what happened when you touched me. Your armor failed not from force, but from truth. Your body spoke the truth your mouth never will. Jace turned away, his pulse unsteady. The room seemed closer now, the walls pulsing louder. I came here for answers, he said. Not this. Then ask me. He hesitated. Why me? Out of every operative they could have sent, why pick someone broken? Her voice dropped, quieter than breath. Because only the broken dare to heal. He didn't respond. Later, he sat alone on a raised platform. The membrane beneath him warmed to his body. A faint melody drifted through the air, wordless and ancient. His thoughts spiraled. He remembered Taina, her laugh, her fingers in his hair, her last breath in his arms after the peace summit was bombed. He had buried her image behind missions, strategy, and orders. But here, it clawed back. Xelya entered again. This time, she carried something. A shallow bowl of shimmering liquid. She knelt beside him. "Drink this." "What is it?" "Memory fluid. It will not harm you. It will only let you see what I see." He hesitated, then took the bowl. The liquid shimmered with color but had no scent. He drank. Heat spread through his chest, then fire. His mind ripped open. He stood in a place that wasn't a place. A cosmic plane of sand and stars. Xelya stood beside him, younger, eyes full of sorrow. Around them, her people fell, burned by war, betrayed by alliance, consumed by greed. "I ruled over warriors," she said. "But they loved only conquest. I saw a future where intimacy replaced war. Where surrender was not defeat, but transcendence." He turned. "So you built this temple?" "No. It grew. From me. From emotion. The orifice is alive. It listens." The vision shifted, Xelya lying alone on the throne, bodies around her merging with the energy stream, becoming light. Her face twisted in grief. "I wanted to stop," she whispered. "But the temple wouldn't let me. It needs connection to live." He saw her differently now. Not a predator. A prisoner of her own creation. Then everything vanished. He gasped awake. Back on the platform. Xelya stood above him, watching quietly. "You saw it," she said. He nodded. "And now you know I do not seek to break you. I need you to choose." "For what?" "To become the first bond not forged in pain, but in hope." She stepped forward and reached out slowly, hand open. He didn't take it. But he didn't move away either. "I still don't trust you," he said. "You don't need to." Her fingers brushed his chest, just over his heart. "You only need to trust this." The contact was brief, but it cracked something inside him. Not lust. Not desire. Grief. The kind that never left. Her eyes softened. "Taina's memory is safe. She was never a mistake." His breath hitched. "You saw her. I felt her. She loved you. But she never blamed you." Jace looked down. "She died because I hesitated. She died because war is merciless. But you lived because you were meant to. Not to fight. But to finish what she began." He looked up. And in her eyes, he didn't see dominance. He saw loneliness. That night, the chamber dimmed to deep blue. The walls stilled. The air grew heavy, almost reverent. Xelya sat across from him. Not as a goddess, but as a woman. Her voice was low. "Tomorrow, I will take you to the sanctum. The true heart of the orifice. Only one human has ever seen it." "What happened to him?" "He wept. Then he disappeared into the stream." "Will I?" "That depends on whether you fear being seen, or welcome it." Jace didn't answer. But for the first time in years. He wanted to. Jace walked in silence behind Xelya, deeper into the temple's core. The architecture changed with every step, less stone, more light. Walls throbbed with faint energy, warm and alive beneath his fingertips. The air smelled of charged rain, though there hadn't been a cloud above Sah'Ra in decades. He adjusted his pace, eyes scanning ahead. "Still think I'm walking into a trap," he muttered. "You are," Xelya said without looking back. "But not the kind you fear." They stopped before a circular gate, pulsing like a heartbeat. No hinges. No handle. Just energy. "This is the sanctum," she said. "No one enters alone. You will go in with me, or not at all." Jace hesitated. "What happens inside?" "We merge." "That sounds suggestive." She faced him, unblinking. "It's not carnal. It's cellular. Our memories, sensations, and energy interlaced for one cycle. If there is deception in either of us, the orifice will know. And if there is, one or both of us won't come out." Her honesty was jarring. But so was the calm behind it. "You're trusting I won't destroy you?" I already have. He frowned. What? She stepped closer. By showing you who I am. By letting you see me not as a threat, but as a woman who tried to save her people and ended up building her own prison. His hand lowered from the hilt of a blade that no longer worked. I walk in, he said, and we're linked. For 1 hour. No lies. No shields. And if I say no? Then I remain your captor. And you, remain afraid. He took a breath. Then nodded. The gate opened. Inside, the sanctum defied geometry. No floor. No ceiling. Just shifting planes of light. Every step landed on invisible platforms, as if the air itself formed a path. They moved together, side by side, until they reached the center, a platform suspended in space, surrounded by spirals of glowing text that shifted languages mid-symbol. This is the binding circle, Xelya said. You will sit here. I will sit opposite. Jace stepped forward slowly. No incantations. No robes. Just this. She reached out and gently placed her palm against his chest. Feel, Jace. Not with your logic. With your damage. He Saturday. So did she. The platform began to glow beneath them. Suddenly, the world blinked. He was no longer in the temple. He was back on Voron 7. The Peace Summit. Flames everywhere. Screams echoing. The sky raining debris. And Taina, her hand in his, blood on her lips. He froze. Xelya stood next to him, not dressed in robes or gold, but in simple Federation attire. She begged you to run, she whispered. But you held on. Jace clenched his fists. I thought if I moved, she'd die faster. You wanted to keep her alive through your presence. Even as her body failed. Taina turned, looked straight at him. But her lips didn't move. You were never the reason I died. You were the reason I lived at all. The vision shattered. Next, he stood in a silver chamber, cold and sterile. He was small. A child. Looking up at his father, a military man who never touched him, only inspected. Discipline, the man barked. Emotion is weakness. He remembered it all. The loneliness. The hunger to be held. The shame of needing softness. He fell to his knees, but arms caught him. Xelya. Behind him now. Holding him from the back. Your scars were made in silence, she said. They need to be unmade with sound. He choked back a sob. No, she said. Let it out. So he did. When he opened his eyes, they were back on the platform. Both shaking. Both drenched in sweat. Their hands had found each other somewhere during the merge. Xelya's voice was hoarse. You saw me too. He nodded. You died once, didn't you? 3 times. And each time, I rebuilt my body from the grief of my people. It changed me. You were never a monster. Neither were you. Silence. Then a sudden tremor rocked the sanctum. A new voice filled the space. Guttural, human. Commander Korr, do you copy? He snapped his head up. That's a Federation signal. Xelya closed her eyes. They found you. Jace stood. I have to respond. You do. But they'll demand your surrender. She rose slowly. And you must decide, do you obey orders, or follow what you've seen? He hesitated, voice low. You could run. No, she said. This ends here. Either they kill me, or they understand what I am. Another tremor. Lights flared across the walls. The Federation had landed. Xelya stepped to him, gently pressing her forehead to his. Whatever comes next, she whispered, you were the first to see me. Not as flame. But as a woman. Jace exhaled, torn. Then he whispered back, and you were the first to see me. Not as a soldier. But as something breakable. Another pulse. Louder now. Time was up. Jace stepped into the blazing light of Sah'Ra's surface, Xelya beside him. Her ceremonial robes were gone, replaced with a sleek, form-fitting weave of copper and black. She looked regal, but not unreachable alien, yet painfully real. Her skin caught the sunlight in a shimmer that made her glow, but there was tension in her jaw, her breath tight. The Federation transport hovered above the sand, its engines vibrating through the dunes. Armed soldiers flanked the drop ramp, weapons raised. Ambassador Reese emerged, his expression grim. Commander Korr, report. Jace didn't move. Why weren't you answering comms? Jace replied calmly, I was in contact. Just not with you. Reese narrowed his eyes at Xelya. Is that her? She has a name. Then you're compromised. No. I'm finally clear. Reese signaled the team. Target is to be detained. Orders from High Command. Jace stepped in front of her. Not happening. Step aside. She's not the threat. Reese scoffed. This is not your call. It became my call the moment I saw the truth. Xelya said nothing. Her gaze was locked on Jace, unreadable. Reese took a step forward. What did she do to you? She didn't take anything, Jace said, voice firm. She gave me back parts of myself I thought were gone. She showed me what our treaties failed to, connection without control. You were sent to assess a diplomatic failure, not fall into bed with the subject. Jace's eyes sharpened. I didn't fall. I stood. For the first time in years. The soldiers hesitated, unsure. Reese growled, this is an order. A low rumble cut him off. The ground vibrated. Not an explosion, not machinery, something deeper. The temple responded to the tension. Its upper spires cracked open like petals, revealing a column of light that shot into the sky. Everyone froze. Xelya turned to Jace, voice calm. They will never trust what they cannot tame. I know. They'll call me a weapon. He looked at her. Then I'll stand beside it. Reese barked, you're endangering a peace accord. No, Jace replied. I'm redefining it. He stepped away from the soldiers, walked to the temple entrance, then turned back to face them. Xelya joined him. The orifice isn't a machine, he called out. It's a doorway. To understanding. To memory. To each other. She doesn't want war. She wants something we've forgotten how to give, willingness. Intimacy without domination. Unity without erasure. Reese stared in silence. Then Xelya stepped forward. If you wish, I'll surrender, she said. But you will never know what I offered. Reese looked between them. The soldiers glanced to one another. No one moved. Then one soldier lowered his weapon. Another followed. Reese swallowed hard. So what now? You think you've solved everything? Jace looked skyward. No. But I've seen what happens when we keep solving things with force. He stepped forward and offered Reese a data core. What's this? My full report. Every vision, every interface, every emotion. No spin. Reese looked at him warily. And what if we still say she's a threat? Then you're not ready. Later, Jace and Xelya stood in the heart of the temple once more, the chamber now quiet. The orifice's light had faded into a calm amber glow. The walls were still. The air was warm. Xelya faced him. You didn't have to stay. I did. You'll be marked a traitor. Then I'll be one with purpose. A pause. She reached for his hand. Most who touch the orifice vanish, she said softly. Absorbed. Lost. But you. I stayed. Yes. And that changed it. She moved his hand to the floor. A soft pulse answered. It recognizes you. He smiled faintly. Is that good or terrifying? Both. They stood in silence. Then she asked, what do you want, Jace? He looked at her. Not at her power. Not her throne. Just, her. I want to stop surviving. And start living. Her breath caught. Then slowly, she stepped into him, her forehead against his, just as before. But this time, no bond triggered. No vision. Just presence. He whispered, you ever get tired of being a symbol? All the time. Then let's be people. Just for tonight. She nodded. And that night, beneath the stars of a planet carved by time, Jace and Xelya lay not as conqueror and captive, not as emissary and alien, but as two souls who chose each other despite every warning not to. In the weeks that followed, treaties were redrawn. The term Orifice Protocol was coined, a new doctrine rooted not in military posturing, but mutual surrender. The Federation didn't fully understand it. But they no longer feared it. Because of two beings who dared to feel in a galaxy that had forgotten how.